I'm Judge Janine Pirro in for Geraldo, and this is a special edition of Geraldo at Large. Tonight, there is a battle going on in this country, and it started in Arizona. But as the battle lines are drawn, we ask, are the people of Arizona evildoers, or are they innocent citizens who are just closer to the issue than the rest of us? Is the federal government refusing to do its job in securing our borders? Tonight, we examine the Arizona law, and guess what? We actually read it. Is the Arizona law constitutional? Does it discriminate against Hispanics? And does it permit racial profiling? We will answer those questions and more. And this week, in a grand act of hypocrisy, Mexico's President Felipe Calderón came to our country and lectured us on how we should treat his citizens. Let's watch.
This fight is not mainly about stopping the drug trade only. It is first and foremost a drive to guarantee the security of Mexican families who are under threat from the abuses and the vicious acts of criminals. The challenge to our security has roots on both sides of the border. I admire the American Constitution, and I understand that the purpose of the Second Amendment is to guarantee good American citizens the ability to defend themselves and their nation. But believe me, many of these guns are not going to honest American hands. Instead, thousands are ending up in the hands of criminals.
This from a man whose country has a murder rate of more than 3 times that of the United States, lecturing us on the danger of assault weapons, where unreported crime is near 85% because of high levels of corruption within the government, and whose number 2 source of income is United States money sent back home from Mexican immigrants living in the United States to the tune of $22 billion a year. Tonight, we'll tackle the way he treats illegals in his country. And by the way, has anyone asked why the Mexicans are running from his country into ours? Here with me tonight is constitutional lawyer and syndicated columnist Ann Coulter, former Texas State Representative Domingo Garcia, who just met with Arizona Governor Jan Brewer to request that she rewrite the Arizona law, and the president of Hispanics Across America, Fernando Mateo. Fernando, you're closest to me. I'll start with you.
Thank you.
What did you think of Calderón's chastising us about the assault ban weapon?
I think that President Calderón was just delivering a message for this administration. I don't think that this administration had no idea what he was going to say.
So you think they knew he was going to say?
No question about it. I mean, he's delivering the message of the administration because, in essence, he's the perfect person to do so.
Okay.
It just surprises all of us that people wouldn't, think that.
Well, Ann, what do you think of the comment that he made?
I'm more interested in the reaction of one half of the Senate there, all the Democrats standing up and giving him a 2-minute standing ovation. And if Republicans aren't as stupid as I think they are, they will have that video. It will be in every campaign ad. I want specific focus on which senators were standing up, giving him a standing ovation for that, particularly Barbara Boxer running in California. And as for the gun thing, John Lott, the great gun jock, has an article on the Fox News webpage, linked at anncoulter.com, pointing out that he was lying about, or doesn't know. I mean, it is all this liberal fantasy about, oh, if only we banned guns, no one would shoot.
Yeah, then we wouldn't have any problems. But he really doesn't speak to the issues.
Domingo
Garcia, let me ask you. You're an organizer, a lawyer. You organized the march in some of the massive rallies that we've had over the years. I mean, do you think Calderón was, a little out of line in coming here and lecturing us on what we should do when the problem has to do with immigrants coming to this country illegally?
Well, you got to remember, you got corporations who want cheap labor. They're the ones that hire the immigrants to pick our crops, clean the dirty diapers of babies all over America, clean toilets and soil sheets and hotel rooms. that corporate America brings them here, and then it's young consumers who consume that cocaine and that marijuana. So we're importing drugs and cheap labor, and we're sending dollars and guns to Mexico. So what are you saying, Domingo,
that they're doing us a favor by bringing the drugs here? I mean, what are you saying? That, you know, they want to do the drugs, and so that you're accommodating us? What's that about?
No, I think that there's a problem that's binational in nature. Mexico is providing drugs and labor over here, and the United States is sending guns and money down to Mexico.
And you know
it's
what,
a problem
Domingo,
that needs to be solved duly.
I don't think anybody would argue with you. I mean, there's no question that first of all, there are many immigrants who come here legally or illegally, and I don't think anyone will disagree with me, who want to work, who are hardworking individuals, and we are a nation of immigrants. Come on, let's face it. But the bottom line is, do you think everybody should be allowed to come to the United States, no matter who they are, that we shouldn't be able to ask them if they got a criminal record, if they've got a contagious disease, if they're going to dilute the workforce, if there's a problem with national security? You think that everybody should be able to come in? Domingo, I want to ask you that.
No. I think we need to secure our borders. I think we need to have a rational immigration reform package. For example, right now for a Mexican in Mexico to get in line, the average Mexican would have to wait 131 years.
Yeah, but
to
you
get
know,
to the
so
front of the line.
what? There are people across the world who are doing this legally, who are waiting year after year for visas, for passports. Let me go to you, Fernando. I mean, I feel you're chomping at the bit here. I mean, what should we do about the 12 million illegals?
The 12 million illegals that are here, a lot of them have been here all of their life. You know, they've gone through elementary school, junior high school, and all of a sudden, you know what? They realize that they need papers in order to find a good job.
So what do we do?
Well, what we need to do is what Ronald Reagan did. You know, we need to give them a break if they haven't committed a crime in this country.
Right.
We need to allow them to produce. Right now, we are the suckers, the taxpayers. We're the ones that are carrying the weight.
That's
you
right.
know what? Those employers that are employing these people, if they collected taxes from them and they were to pay the taxes, you know, our economy would totally change.
Interesting point of view. And you agree with him, I assume.
I think you don't want to start looking at it from the point of the ones who have already been here all this time.
But they're here illegal, Ann. They're here illegally, and they've been here illegally for 20 years.
As I was saying, you don't want to start with that.
We have a couple of seconds, Ann. Get to the point.
That's why it was a mistake for Reagan to grant amnesty to these 3 million, because then you get more rushing across the border. You want to see how to prevent them from rushing across the border by not granting them amnesty.
Domingo, Fernando, stand by. When we come back, what does the Arizona law really say?
Reading is really super swell. Reading's great, so let's all shout it out. Reading helps you know what you're talking about.
Have you read the law? As well. Have I read the law?
Yes.
No.
So you guys,
Have you read the Arizona law?
I have not had a chance to. I've glanced at it.
have you had a chance to review the new law that was passed by the state of Arizona?
I have not reviewed it in detail.
The federal government is ultimately the one charged with immigration policy.
Folks, we're going to read the Arizona law tonight. Senate Bill 1070, what does it say? Number one, it's a crime to be in Arizona illegally. Number two, it's a crime to not carry your immigration documents. Arizona citizens can sue the government if the immigration laws are not enforced. It's illegal to hire day laborers, illegal day laborers in Arizona. Police have broad powers to detain where reasonable suspicion exists, reasonable suspicion, and Arizona has to hand over illegals to the federal government. Now, what does the federal law say? The federal law says all aliens shall carry proper identification, that a lawful stop is not required to question people, that reasonable suspicion is not required for questioning, and they make it a misdemeanor to employ illegal aliens. Now, if we put them on the split screen, the Arizona versus the federal law, folks, there's nothing new here. Arizona simply reenacted the federal law, but guess what? There are more safeguards in the Arizona law. So how can the president say the Arizona law was poorly conceived? And what is the hoopla all about?